Hey everyone, Jason here. Today it is Shark Day. LEGO recently released this Deep Sea Creatures Creator 3-in-1 set, and as soon as I saw the shark on it, I knew I wanted to try and make this shark swim. And even though I already built a swimming shark last fall, it was based on the Forma mechanism. And for this shark, I really wanted to see what kind of mechanism I would come up with if I were to develop it from scratch myself. And this is what I came up with. Now, the first thing you might notice is that it is relatively undecorated, and that is because I really just want to focus on the mechanism and keeping it as simple as possible, because I really like the design aesthetic of the shark and the crab in the original set, so I really didn't want to detract from them. So let's take a closer look at what is going on. In the front we have a main drive shaft, which can be turned using this crank on one end, and I actually designed it so you can mount that crank on either end of the drive shaft, or you can connect a motor to it as you saw in the introduction. That drive shaft drives these two crankshafts, each of which drives two pistons, which are these gray lift arms here. At the end of those pistons are these sliding bricks, and on top of those sliding bricks are mounted two lift arms. The front two pistons control the position and the orientation of this lift arm, and the rear two pistons control the position and orientation of this lift arm. For cranks, I'm actually using these pulley wheel pieces, which have 6 holes evenly spaced along their perimeter, which means that each hole is 60 degrees offset from the one beside it, and so that I can just mount a pin in one of the holes and use that as a crank. As a result, each piston is 60 degrees behind the one in front of it in its rotation cycle, which is large enough to give us some nice noticeable movement in the shark, but small enough to make that movement nice and smooth. The front section of the shark is mounted directly onto this front lift arm using this transparent antenna, and the rear section of the shark is similarly mounted onto the rear lift arm. The center section is unsupported from the base, and it's just constrained by the front and the back sections of the shark. I did have to replace a few pieces in the shark. In the original model, it's using these tight ball joints between the sections, and so I had to swap them out with these loose-fitting ball joints so that the shark could move freely. I have created building instructions for this model if you'd like to try and build it yourself, and they also include the changes that you need to make to the shark itself. There are a couple of things to note. One is that when you're connecting the pulleys to the crankshafts, you'll want to pay special attention that they are all oriented identically. The other thing is that the shark segments are connected to the lift arms using a single stud, so they actually can be rotated quite a bit, and you'll just want to make sure that they are oriented the same as the lift arm they're mounted on. And that is about all there is to it for this model. I had a lot of fun with this one. I really do like these Creator 3-in-1 sets. As always, thanks for watching, keep on building, and I'll see you next time.